Hello and welcome to Talking Tildas. Great to have your company with us. I am your host, Nick Rupolo, joined with me, as always, by Michelle Morris, Christina Trajceska. She's back on the panel, and Rose Valente, of course. Guys, great to have your company. Thanks for coming back.
Thank you.
It's been a long couple of days, struggling for content, considering that the Matildas are out. But quarterfinals done and dusted now, and we really are at the business end of the World Cup. You may be wondering, we looked down a member. Chrissy wasn't here last week, but she's back. But it still looks like something's missing. Well, we thought, considering that the Matildas are out, it wasn't really necessary to have Alex Morgan joining us anymore. This actually wasn't an idea of Michelle's, despite the animosity that she has for the United States women's team.
Proud of you. You've come a long way.
Yeah. I mean, but I think we can all agree that this was a decision that needed to be made. Do you guys agree?
Absolutely, 100%.
Yes.
It adds to the beautiful feature that is Talking Tildas. Loving it.
Who doesn't love pixels and white jerseys?
Brilliant. Anyway, we will get stuck straight into it. The rundown of today, we're going to be reviewing the quarterfinals, going through some of your questions, talking about the controversy surrounding the American hotshot, Megan Rapinoe, and of course, previewing the semi-finals. But guys, it's really heating up, coming towards the business end of the tournament. Chrissy, you were watching the big one, France, the United States.
Yes, I did. Oh. God damn it, man.
What do you mean, God? What happened? What do you think?
Of course, everybody really wanted France to take away that win. Not just being the host, but because of the news reports and also what we've seen. America has been quite arrogant because they are still the title holders of the Women's World Cup. And also, yes, they've had such a great run, but they're really, really good at rubbing it in. So that's probably the main reason why everybody wanted France to take this one away. But they didn't. The US was on top of it.
Yeah, I mean, you saw France as the underdogs rose. It was actually a really exciting game as well.
It was. The first half wasn't exactly what I expected. I thought that France would bring a little bit more action to it, but I think that was probably because the US was shutting them down so much. Once it got to the second half, that was pretty exciting, especially in the last about 20 minutes. Excellent game. I think for the last probably 6 minutes, really thought France were going to be able to get the draw, go into extra time, but just wasn't meant to be.
Crystal Dunn was on fire in that game, but somebody who may have lost a bit of their shine in the last couple of games for the United States was Alex Morgan, Michelle.
My best friend.
Go on.
I can't wait for the day that I meet Alex Morgan.
Oh, God.
If I ever meet Alex Morgan, trust me, everything that I've ever said, I didn't say anything.
It's not on camera.
But
Chrissy won't play it on a big screen.
You were also watching England defeating Norway 3-0. I mean, England the favourites, considering we thought Norway might put up a bit of a bigger fight against England, but that was so strong.
I did think that it was going to be an interesting matchup between England and Norway. I thought that Norway would have got at least a goal or two. I did not expect a 3-0 win, especially in the quarterfinals. Like, that's the time when you were expecting, a close match. But, you can't stop Lucy Bronze when she's kicking a goal like that. That was
a fantastic
incredible.
Goal. Oh.
I was watching it. We watched the replay of it again with my dad and my mum and my uncle, and we were all watching it. And as soon as that goal happened, these are all South Americans, and they all just go, "Whoa, que golazo!" Yeah, so it was.
Everyone just
it had us all on our feet. It was an extraordinary goal. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see Italy score any extraordinary goals. So Italy have been knocked out.
I can go back to eating pasta.
I can go back to drinking Italian coffee. Yes.
We lost to the Dutch 2-0. Rose, can you say something?
To be fair, the Netherlands are also one of the the favourites to win. So.
Yeah, to be honest, and let's not forget that in episode 1 I predicted them to choke, and I was wrong, Chrissy. I was very wrong. The Netherlands were exceptional. Medema scoring again. What do you think of the match?
Oh, I didn't watch it.
Well, the goals.
Honest. You're so honest.
Well, you saw the goals.
I did
see
the goals.
The goals were very good.
Yes, they were. Dude, I've been on break.
Chrissy's on drugs.
Endone is a hell of a drug.
But you guys saw the comments by Italy's head coach Milano Bertolini after the match, calling for for government to get behind to professionalise the game, because obviously it's amateur and semi-professional. So I mean, that was one really big positive to come out of Italy's campaign, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
I think, a lot of governing bodies, a lot of coaches have come out talking to governing bodies and being like, yo, put money into this. You can see that people will come and they're worth it, yeah. So
especially against the Netherlands, a team that was getting over 10,000 people at each of their matches. Playing in front of big audiences, big TV audiences and huge crowds. The final game, quarter-final, Germany versus Sweden. Sweden going through 2-1. Did any of us watch this game?
I watched like 20 minutes of
I
it. I
know, and the worst part, wasn't it 1:30 or 2 a.m. on a Sunday morning, so it was like peak time, but I was like, I just couldn't keep my eyes
Not many
open.
people were sober.
I mean,
let's be
It
honest.
was hard
Not
to
many
stay
people.
up.
I was awake and in a lot of pain, but you know.
This bloke.
Look, I was still recovering from the loss to the Netherlands, but I think
Germany tried to recover in the last, let's say 10 minutes of that game. But it wasn't happening for them.
I mean, Germany
Sweden
were
shut them
they
down.
were
Did you say
Germany.
they got flat packed?
All right, we're going to bypass that one. Go quick. Germany were actually really underwhelming in this tournament. I don't know if you could. Do you think they were pretty underwhelming?
Yeah, I thought they were gonna, make a big impact during this tournament, but they've been quiet. They didn't make a big huzzah! Look at us! Look how well we're doing.
Yeah, they didn't make any statements. No 13-0s, no
Being
big
a
wins.
big team.
Yeah.
Only 1-0 win against China. These teams. I think 2015 quarterfinal for us. So we played Sweden in the quarterfinal and got knocked out by them. This one we've gone out a round earlier and they've headed into the semi-finals. So Sweden, not many people I thought think that they were their dark horse, but they're playing some great football. And their match against the Netherlands is going to be absolutely fantastic. But we will preview the semi-finals a bit later on in the show, and we're going to go to a quick break.
Hey, Chrissy. What are you doing?
Trying to make Turkish coffee with the wrong utensils.
Okay. Hey, did you see Michelle Morris's soccer game on the weekend?
Football, you mean?
Her soccer game.
Football.
Her soccer game.
They call it football.
The game with the round ball.
Yeah, football.
Soccer.
Say football. Say football. Say football. Football game. Perfect. Because there's only one football.
Welcome back to Talking Tildas. Well, the United States went through against France, winning 2-1, and another 2 goals came from Megan Rapinoe. Rapidly, if I pun intended, really. Sorry.
Don't laugh.
Becoming a huge figure at this World Cup, not just on the field, but also off it. Her comments about not going to the White House made an understatement. It would be to say a couple of ripples on social media and across the news. Guys, we talk a lot about, we have this conversation about players being distracted in camp, we social media, these kinds of things that are having an impact on players' performances. But, she went out there, she made the comment, and 2 goals against Spain, she made the comment, and she backed it up again. So, we had this conversation about the Matildas. Do you think that maybe we overhype maybe that they get distracted or these kinds of things?
Once again, it depends on the player. That's what it comes down to. It depends on the player. It depends on their personality and the way they're able to take criticism, as well as the hardcore media and the words from other people on social media. It can deflate them, or it can, make them, as you can see with Megan Rapinoe.
I mean, she's become like a cult hero, really, for a lot of people. But do you agree? Do you think it depends on the player? Like, would a younger player if they made that comment, do you think it could impact them following that comment?
It's just hard to have a proper opinion on this, because I think, we're looking at it as, well, in the men's World Cup, for example, a lot of those teams have social media bans and they don't talk to media a lot unless they have to. But they're not being asked questions like, are you going to go to the White House? Because let's face it, there's no other country where if you win a major trophy, you don't go to the government house and sit and have a dinner or a lunch.
You just go through the streets and start waving the trophy around. That's about it.
But in the United States, you win, the NBA, baseball, NFL, whatever, you win all these trophies. you're invited to the White House, and it's like this big honor, this big privilege, and it's like no one else has that. Like no other country has it. Like you might be like if you're in England, maybe you're invited to see the Queen or something, but like it's so like weird that is a thing already in itself.
I don't know, like, you know, being Australians, we're not used to that kind of thing. You know, we don't have teams visiting the Prime Minister or going to Parliament House. I mean,
We haven't won anything.
But do you think, like, Rose, do you think, you know, we should really be having a comment about, you know, the traditions of American sport?
Well, I think that it's a little bit rich for people to comment on Meghan's comments on the White House because, well, that's just her political opinion. And like Michelle said, you know, not every country has this where they're invited to the White House. So there's not always opportunities for players of all these different teams in different countries to show their political opinion because they're not really supposed to, you know. They're probably told, be careful what you say in the sense of politics, don't ruffle any feathers.
Well, do you think she should have made the comment? You know, I
think that it's exactly like what I said about Kerr. I think she's in her right to make that comment. She didn't say anything nasty. In my opinion, I don't think it was nasty. I just think it was how she felt at the time.
Chrissy, do you think you should have made the comment?
Like
or
Rose
do
said,
you think that it was nasty? Actually, we'll jump into that topic.
I don't think it's nasty at all. Just like Rose said, with Sam Kerr, she has a right to say it. There is a reason why she said it. And there's a good reason to back up why she said it.
And it was her opinion on the matter.
What if, like, talking hypothetically, what if she didn't back it up? You know, what if after the comments,
she's got a whole country laughing at her.
Well, yeah. What if she, you know, what if she didn't back it up with 2 goals against France?
To be fair, like I think what's the big issue is that say some other person was president, right? Some politician, not Donald Trump. Like, yes, he's president, but he's not a politician. Like at the end of the day, he was a businessman first, whatever. And he never went through school to do like political science or whatever. Yeah. So don't come for me. But he's not a politician. But say someone else was president and she said that. Do you think that president would care? Probably not.
Well,
why?
He's the only president tweeting.
But that's the thing, right? So it's like Donald, like the problem is it's that Donald Trump is president and the fact that he tweets so often and is so like...
He has a heavy social media presence.
Yeah. And then he has this like cult following as well. So it's like, if she said it and someone else was president, it probably wouldn't have the same effect that it does now. It's just because the current president is someone who tweets a lot and who has a lot of heavy opinion on things that shouldn't need his opinion.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay, so considering that Donald Trump, I mean, she made the comment, but, you know, Trump doubled down on it and responded and made it into a big story.
Why wouldn't he respond?
But she saw Obama at the White House. She's been there. It's just how she feels about that individual, obviously.
And of course that party, that presidency at the time. It's just what's happening.
Do you think that she doesn't really have perhaps the place, considering maybe, you know, if she met Obama or a Democratic president, that considering that it's a Republican president, she doesn't really have the place to be.
Well, no, celebrities say their opinion on a political matter all the time.
Yeah, and they're allowed to. There's nothing that says they can't talk politics. It's just the public says they're not allowed to, and it's like, well, if they're not allowed to, then you're not allowed to because you don't have a major in political science either. You're a truck driver, you know. So it's like
I think also is that Megan Rapinoe does much more than just play football.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
She's an activist. She does so much more stuff off the field, and so I think that was especially a big leg up for her and what she stands for in terms of what she believes in.
She stood up for what she believes in by making her opinion heard, and I think even if she didn't score those goals in the game,
it still would have stood for.
She's still a great player. Well, with the goals or without the goals, she's a great player. So
how does it compare to Sam Kerr's comments?
Two different things.
Yeah.
Two completely different situations. One is political and like talking directly to like well, she's not even talking to the president, but
she was on Twitter.
Well, different.
Well, I mean, she's aiming the comment at the president.
Yeah, so it's a completely different situation where Sam Kerr's comments were something like about her and her team, and it was just too.
That she was personally affected by something. Yeah.
Whereas like Megan Rapinoe's comment was just, "I'm not going to go to the White House," and that's it. And it's like, okay.
Cool.
And once you comment
Yeah,
on
I mean, they
politics,
don't
it
need to
gets
go to the
messy.
White House.
No.
I mean,
No.
Personally, like, I find it weird that, you know, they
What
have
do you
to go to the
reckon-
White
what
House.
would our PM do? What do you reckon ScoMo would do?
Absolutely nothing.
Well, I mean, it doesn't.
I
I
wear a
don't.
scarf at least.
I mean, but like, you know, we
ScoMo
talk about.
jogging
You
in
ask
Tildas jersey.
what would ScoMo do. He doesn't need to do anything. You know, like we.
Yeah, but what do you think
I
he
think-
would do?
I
'Cause
think.
everyone.
I don't know. Ask Taylor.
Everyone
I think it
does
would be.
something.
I think it would be a real. Like, if this, let's say the Matildas won this World Cup and then they visited Parliament House, I think that's important. Even
Yeah.
just having, you know, lining up and having a photo with the Prime Minister as an image, that's really important. So, personally, if we had that opportunity to do that, I think you should grab it with both hands, considering that, you know, we don't get the opportunity to be seen with these high up politicians, and especially the Prime Minister. I mean, and it would also get a foot in the door for some of the people of the FFA to speak to some really influential
Gallup
people
would be there,
in
mate.
government, and in terms of government support,
Yeah.
that's somewhere where we lack. So
And you know, I think our girls would be behind something like that. But yeah, I think you'd just wear a scarf. You'd probably hand them
Yeah,
like a toy koala and shake their hand.
but that would be really important, just to be seen with those kinds of people in government. We'll be right back on Talking Tildas with some of your online questions. Welcome back to Talking Tildas. It is time for our favourite part of the show. We are going to answer some of your Twitter questions. They are always a treat, and we love answering them. Rose, take it away. What'll be your first?
Okay, so first one is from Pete Nowakowski.
Novakovsky.
Nowakowski.
Mike Wazowski. Okay, go on. Go on.
I was waiting for that to happen.
Coach of the under-15s Illawarra Stingrays, who apparently drew yesterday. Congrats, Illawarras.
And happy birthday. And happy birthday.
It's his birthday today. Happy birthday, Pete. Anyway, so he's asked, each World Cup we see something new or something special. What do you think is the special moment of this World Cup? And what do you want to see improved for the 2023 World Cup?
Chrissy, something special.
First of all, something special. Suck on that one. It was very special.
That was pretty special.
That was very, very special. It's going to go down in our history books for Australian history, definitely. Something I want to improve for the next Cup, for it to be held in Australia.
That's an improvement.
Yeah, definitely.
Michelle, something special, something to improve on?
Something special, like for me personally.
Yeah, sure.
Hearing during the Chilean national anthem, they stopped the music at one part, and it's just all a cappella. And their last game that they played, their group game against Thailand, was so special because normally in the men's matches, like, you hear it loud, right? Like, it is so loud, and it's just amazing. And in this match, like when they did the national anthem and everybody was there singing it so loud, and then they cut the music and everybody still sings, and it's just so loud. And I think a lot of people don't watch men's football, wouldn't have experienced something like that before, and it was just like the most incredible thing. It was great, and something to improve on. I don't know, maybe like scheduling, maybe.
Scheduling.
Yeah.
How would you improve scheduling?
I mean, like, it's better than the A-League, but you know.
Yeah, well, I mean,
I think it depends on where it's held as well.
Yeah,
time
like
zones.
you're playing in summer, right? So it's hot. So maybe, like, because from what I was hearing, like a lot of the girls were saying that it was really difficult to play in that kind of heat. So maybe, like, games to be played at a later time or something, if it is really hot. But
Yeah,
you know, if
people-
the next one's in Australia, then they won't have to worry about how hot it is
Yeah.
because it'll be
Fair
cold.
point.
Freezing
No,
cold.
actually, it hasn't been something that really we've been talking about.
Yeah.
That it's hot. It's actually the first time that I saw that they actually had a drinks break during the Italy-Netherlands
Yeah, 'cause
game.
Italy, Netherlands, it was a very slow tempo.
Mm.
It hit temperatures
like
above-
a Brisbane game.
I
No
think
wonder why the goals came from set pieces.
just looking at a couple of friends on social media, that there were temperatures above 36, 40.
Yeah.
And that's what they were playing in. Here in Australia, we stop games when it's like, it hits like 33, 34 degrees.
Yeah, 35 usually.
Yeah.
and they're playing in above 36. So yeah, it is
Middle of the day. It
Fair
was like
point,
3
yeah.
p.m. I think that game kicked off, or about 3 p.m. The first one. So that's pretty intense.
Fair point.
Yeah.
Special moment for me is always the underdog. So Jamaica and Thailand scoring at the World Cup. It was really a special moment, especially that Thailand goal. If you haven't seen that, go and have a look at it against Sweden. It was a really special moment. Something to improve on. I think always improving on crowds, and I think that if we were to host the next World Cup, crowds wouldn't be a problem. I think that we would get some fantastic crowds.
Yep. So my special moment would be David and excuse me, and Harper Beckham in the stands, and him showing her
the future of England.
exactly.
You seem to care more about the future of English football than Australian football.
Well, I mean, what have we got left?
American football, they're doing just fine. And we need everybody's... We need all our energy going into Australian football.
But no, it was super cute watching David and Harper, and what I think can be improved is actually learning not so much what the offside rule is, but how to implement the offside rule, because we saw a lot of offsides given a little bit too late than they should have.
Rose is going to gift me doing this now.
Are you doing that and just me doing this?
Go ahead, Rose.
Okay, so next question from Tom Kane, captain of the Hamilton Azuri.
Thumb Kane.
G'day, Thumb.
Thomas is spelled. We don't know. I don't know if his full name is Thomas. Yes, it is a Thomas.
Let me
He
check.
wants to go by it, Tom. Let's just
Don't
check
worry about
Facebook
that.
or something. So he's asked, the USA v England Hotel Furore. I don't even speak English.
I went to public school.
Storm in a teacup and overreaction from the Poms, or poor form and more arrogance from the USA. So this is in relation to the USA?
The US
has
has two people apparently in the same hotel as that the English were staying at. Apparently to look to see if they were to look at rooms to see if they made the final, that they would be staying in that hotel, to see if it was going to be good enough or whatever.
I thought that's what Booking.com was for.
I mean, are you doing an ad for it?
I hope so, because we need cheap accommodation.
I mean, if they want to give us cheap accommodation to go to France for the finals, yeah, sure.
But that was apparently the issue. I'm not sure how true it is. Apparently there's a lot of sources for it though.
Sources.
But
everyone's got a source.
You know, it is weird. Like, why can't you do it later or something, or just look online, or like call the reception? You know.
All right, I don't think this is that big of an issue, really.
I think it's bull, because if you've got a game plan, you wouldn't have it up in the front of reception of the hotel for the US.
No, of course not. But also, it's just like, that's why I don't know how true it is or whatever. Like, apparently Phil Neville, apparently he said like, oh, it's not good enough, or like something along those lines, whatever. But again, like, I don't know how true this story is, you know, and it's just a bit odd. It just seems like people are creating drama for the sake of creating drama.
Yeah, I think it's kind of normal that
there's been so much drama.
These kind of things happen at World Cups where, you know, you might have opposition looking for answers or looking for anything that they can get. So I think it's pretty normal in the sense of competition. So next one, statement from Robbie Fowler, who I believe is Robbie Fowler's assistant. Don't quote me on that. Who has said, "It's coming home." Thank you for that, Robbie.
I don't think so.
Fowler.
Do you guys think it's coming home?
I hope so.
I'm not saying anything. I'm not putting anything out there into the universe anymore. That's it.
Everything I've predicted has been wrong.
We're gonna preview those semi-finals and see who we think is gonna be in the final, and we will do that after we answer some more of your questions right after this break. Welcome back to Talking Tildas. Couple more questions for you. Rose, take it away.
Get bent.
Dare you?
Wow.
That's their name.
Hey, look, I thought our ratings have been pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh, I know I'm annoying, but you know.
What are we doing wrong? A lot of things, actually.
Go on.
Maybe next week we should read hate mail. That would be pretty good. Okay, Get Bent Ner has asked, is Sam Kerr a bottler? Best striker in the world during NWSL regular season, underwhelming in 2018 playoffs and 2019 World Cup.
Big
Michelle
question.
Morris.
Yes, Michelle, you may answer the question.
And
Christ.
We all know what's happening. We all know what's coming.
Before it falls off.
and also, she bottled it in the grand final against Sydney FC.
Who won?
You
that
just
game?
wanted to
Sydney
point that in.
FC.
Chrissy, let's answer the question.
Okay, I do have an answer to the question.
Stop
Okay.
about Sydney
Well,
FC.
Chrissy, do you
Go
think
to Sky
that
Blue first before she freaks out.
do you think that perhaps Sam Kerr isn't performing, is bottling at tournaments and in the important matches for the Matildas?
Sadly, yes. She cracks under pressure sometimes, especially at moments when you don't want her to and we don't need her to. Of course, every player can recover from that in time. They'll learn, they'll become stronger, yada, yada, yada. But yeah, she has bottled it quite a... Don't
A
laugh.
couple of times. Not laughing.
A couple of times. And don't. Yeah, she's lost
least
it a
one's
couple
the
times.
Michelle, do you agree? Do you think that in terms of tournaments and qualifying games, she's a bit off the par?
I think there's a lot of factors that come into it. I think people can argue that the NWSL is the greatest women's league, but it's nothing compared to playing Champions League in Europe. Realistically, look at those European teams that are in the tournament right now. They all play so well, and a lot of them play in Europe. And not only that, but they're playing against each other in the Champions League, and that is probably one of the best experiences that you could get as a footballer, and you're probably playing against some of the best players in the world. And I think, as much as I love the W League, it's obviously not, top tier quality, so that's why she probably excels so well in the W League, in the NWSL, because she's not playing against some of the best players.
I think it can go beyond Sam Kerr. I think it can go to the whole Matildas. I mean, because Tamiki Yallop plays in Norway, so she plays in Europe. Not for one of the best teams, but I think you've seen it at this World Cup. I mean, our players play fantastically in the W League. They're fantastic in the NWSL, but when it comes up against teams like Norway, teams like even Italy, in our match against them, we seriously struggle, and it's because we're actually coming up against some of the best players in the world, and it's as no coincidence that they play in Europe. So I think I think it goes beyond Sam Kerr.
Yeah.
I think we need a reality check when it comes to how good our girls actually are compared to the best teams in Europe.
Yeah, I agree. It's a little bit more of a Matilda's round thing, rather than her bottling. I mean, the facts are there that she hasn't quite performed her greatest in, as was mentioned, but there's more to be done, and maybe put her in Real Madrid, like the rumours are saying. The non-existent rumours. The couple of people who tagged us on Twitter.
I'm going to be such a horrible Barcelona fan if that happens.
That would be very interesting. Okay, so Scott Carney, who is the goalkeeper over there at Hamilton Azuri, is very big fans tonight. He's asked, has anybody found my dignity last seen Saturday night? Not recently.
We haven't found Rupes either.
No comments.
Also last Saturday night.
No comment.
Okay, Cassandra Tupietti. I believe Cassandra works with Beyond 90, the women's game. Anyway, we could be here all day. I think she's done some work with the Ladies League. I'm not too sure. There was this really great production by Michelle Morris TV.
She a fan?
I think she's a massive fan.
There's a question here, actually.
It's coming. Who has been the player of the tournament for each of you so far?
Ellen White for England.
Oh, I was going to say the same thing, actually. Ellen White, yeah.
She's been fantastic. Scoring difficult goals for England in their matches. Yours, Chrissy? Alex Morgan?
Who?
Kristen Press?
God, it's
You thought Canada were going to struggle.
Yeah,
and
but
they
let's
did.
not talk about that.
Any
Look, as much as I
Australians?
want.
No.
I mean, we can always go down to Ellie Carpenter. She was my favourite player to watch throughout the entire competition for the Matildas. So almost every game almost every game. How dare I?
She got into
Every single
L'Equipe's
game.
Team of the round of 16 as
Yeah.
well, so that's huge.
Yeah.
To get into like L'Equipe, that's enormous in France, and you know, she must be thinking, wow, like in a paper like that, that's good to open up doors for her in Europe.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go Ellie. She was one of the star players for me.
Rose?
I'm going to go with Lieke Martens over in Netherlands. Not for anything particular that she has done, just her overall performance. I've just really enjoyed her.
She's a silky player.
Yeah.
She's fantastic.
Yeah.
I'll also give a special shout out to Tian Endler, the Chilean goalkeeper. Bro, her saves against USA, she kept them safe in that second half. So
Good on Chile. Good on all the players that we nominated, because there have been so many fantastic players.
What if they won?
Nothing.
The way you said it was like
Nothing yet.
they were winning a competition.
No, well, they could win the World
they-
Cup if they try
they
hard
want a
enough.
shout out from us.
Everybody
That's
wants
the-
a shout out from Rupa.
That's the best thing you could get.
Not everyone can get a shout out from Rupa, but
All right, let's move it along.
I try my best. We'll be back. We will be,
We will be?
unfortunately.
Sure.
Previewing the semi-finals of the Women's World Cup, which begin Wednesday, 5 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, right after this break. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Talking Tildas. Well, the semi-finals finally get shush, 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 shush.
still going.
I'm going to go straight into it. Shush, shut up. Straight face. Welcome back to Talking Tildas. Well, the semi-finals begin Wednesday, 5 a.m. That's Australian Eastern Standard Time. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. Pressure cooker moments. Chrissy, England versus the United States, the first one.
I'm praying it's England.
Praying it's England.
I am praying it's England.
So you're praying it's England, but do you
Yes.
think they're going to beat the United States? So your heart is telling you England, but what's your head telling you?
My head's telling me Megan Rapinoe, okay? My
Yeah.
heart is saying England, but my head is saying we're screwed.
We're screwed.
Well,
I don't understand this.
I convert.
I don't understand.
I made a deal with a mate of mine on Instagram by the name of Lee. So if the Tildas get kicked out, I gotta follow England, so I'm screwed.
So you
We're
think,
screwed.
but the United States, you think are going to?
I think. Yeah,
Rose,
they
do you
could pull this
agree?
one.
United States,
England.
England are going to win.
Mm-hmm.
You've had it in for England this entire tournament.
I've had it in for England.
Yes, I'm sure you have.
Has she?
You thought
Have
England
I?
were going to struggle.
No, that was me.
Or you thought England were going to struggle.
Yeah.
Wow. It's been a long
Wait, no, what was
couple
the
of
question?
weeks.
England are going to win.
Do you think England? Who's going to get knocked out? England or the United States?
No, the United States are going to
Do
get
you think the
knocked
United
out.
States going to get knocked out?
I tuned out of that question.
It's been a
I think
long
we've
4
all
weeks.
tuned out about now. Michelle, England or America?
I reckon England, and that's just also me saying that because, like, you know how we are with the United States here, and how we, I mean me.
We?
I meant me. So, you know, I reckon it's going to be a solid 7-0.
Jesus Christ.
England's going to pump them. Take
I'm
it
gonna say-
backwards.
I hope.
I'm gonna say this is gonna go to extra time, but I think the United States are gonna win, and yeah, Megan Rapinoe to score the winner again.
But I do reckon England's going to give them, like, a really
Yeah.
tough game.
This
Oh,
is gonna
yeah.
be like if you thought France versus the United States was big, this is going to be enormous.
Yeah, it's going to be
Oh, yeah.
huge.
Netherlands, Sweden. This is an interesting one.
Mm.
Netherlands, Sweden. Just sit with that for a second. Netherlands versus
Ooh.
Sweden. Just let that.
Alright,
Yeah.
we're done.
Just
Yeah.
enjoy it.
I've
Just tall,
enjoyed it.
blonde people running around everywhere.
Yeah. Tall, blonde, fair-skinned, skillful
Hopefully
people.
it's not in the afternoon, is it? Not
Probably is.
mid-afternoon.
Oh no, it wouldn't be.
Might need a lot
No,
of sunscreen.
it'll be at night. Thank God. For us, 5 a.m. though.
Yeah.
Netherlands or Sweden, Chrissy?
Sweden.
Chrissy? Sweden.
Indo.
Sweden.
Yeah, Sweden. I'm gonna say Sweden.
Rose, you agree?
Netherlands.
Netherlands. It's the
Netherlands
decider.
to win.
Netherlands?
Mm.
I'm going to say the Netherlands as well,
God
sorry.
damn you all.
Yeah, I think the Netherlands will win. I thought they'd struggle in episode 1. I thought that they'd seriously struggle, but
The Netherlands.
yeah,
We
but
have to go
but,
back and look at episode
but
1.
they actually surprised me. Like, you know, they perform well against Australia, but I kind of saw that a different way. I saw a lot of inconsistencies. I thought that they weren't flawless, but look, been proved wrong. Netherlands have been absolutely dynamite, especially with the players that they have.
Mm.
But semi-finals are going to be must-watch television, must-watch football. Encourage everyone you know. Watch these semi-finals. Seriously, watch these semi-finals. Watch the semi-final of the Women's World Cup and the final. Convince everyone you know, because this is going to be... If trust me, it's the same for me for 2015 World Cup. I only started getting into women's football because of the Matildas in the quarterfinal. You will, if you want to convince people to start watching women's football,
It's now.
you make them watch the semi-finals and the final, because that is where you convince people. The showpiece events. Thank you so much for joining us on Talking Tildas. It's been a fantastic episode and great to have your company. I've been your host, Nicholas Rupolo, alongside Michelle Morris, Christina Trajceska, and Rosa Valente. The semi-finals, England versus United States, Netherlands, Sweden. It all begins Wednesday, 5 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. Tune in, watch it, because it is going to be an absolute blockbuster. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.